How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. So, August is a pretty essential month for this Yankee team because the schedule is very, very weak. Now, we've had a pretty difficult schedule the last 2 months or so. Definitely went through some polarizing moments. We lost a lot of games. But now we're starting to turn the corner here. And yesterday, you see, this Yankee team is losing most of those extra inning games a month ago. Now we're winning these games, whether it be the Phillies or the Blue Jays. And, guys like DJ LeMahieu coming out of the woodwork and helping us win these games. Obviously, the bullpen has been much better. Mark Leiter, he had 3 Ks in 1.1 innings yesterday. He's been excellent for this team so far. Even Eniel De Los Santos was solid too. So, for the most part, the pitching and the bullpen side has been much, much better. The starting rotation remains a little bit spotty. Garrett Cole, you can tell he's still trying to find his groove. The pitches, his location, his accuracy, that's kind of what his MO is. It's usually immaculate. He's missing some of these pitches by an inch or two. Pitches that he usually dots the corners, forces those swings and misses. He's not getting the same accuracy he normally does, but I'm not really surprised by that. He's still working through some, kind of issues coming back from that elbow injury. So, looking at kind of where he progresses from here, hopefully he continues to get better. But the next couple of series coming up here, you have the Angels, you have Detroit, you have the White Sox, Texas. Very weak opponents compared to some of the better teams in baseball. This is the opportunity for the Yankees to pull away in the American League East. They're tied with Baltimore right now for that first spot. Now, these weak opponents, you got to sweep at least 2 of these next 4 series, I'd say. You got to at least win these series. I mean, the White Sox are on a historic losing streak right now. I think they've lost 20 straight games, Ryan. They need to beat the brakes off of bad teams. That is what good teams do. They destroy bad teams. How important is it that we completely dominate August and put ourselves in a spot where we at least get a little cushion here? We need 3-4 game lead over Baltimore going into September, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, dude, we need this. This needs to be a stretch where we're kicking ass, right? Like, August is. I think the Orioles get a tougher schedule too. Like, Yankees have to get up. They've gotten off to a pretty solid start. Granted, that first game against the Blue Jays, I felt like was totally winnable if you get a good start. So, Stroman, he can't deliver starts like that. The White Sox, when we play the White Sox, like that should be a sweep. Like, they're so bad that anything less than a 3-game sweep is. And I know it's on the road. It's massively disappointing. That team is dysfunctional. Like, their manager publicly, like, they're gonna fire him, but they haven't fired him. Like, dude, like that's a joke of an organization. You should curb stomp them. That should be belt to ass every day. Detroit, look, they're not horrific, but you should still at least take 2 of 3. And Texas, I feel the same way, 2 out of 3. You're gonna get some key reinforcements back in your pitching staff hopefully over the next couple of weeks. As you mentioned with Mark Leiter Jr., dude, Leiter Jr. and I tweeted, this is like I think my only tweet about the game. I tweeted out like after the walk off. Mark Leiter Jr. fucks, dude. Mark Leiter Jr. He's a guy. He rocks. He's electric. I think it was Brandon Cuddy. He put out the tweet of like he got a scouting report saying Mark Leiter Jr. has quote unquote balls. Yeah, he has balls. That guy rocks. I love Mark Leiter Jr. The bullpen finally being deeper, like that's awesome. Even yesterday, like Canley got into a little bit of trouble. Holmes is able to limit it to just 1 run, which I feel like that's huge for Holmes. I feel like those are situations where, single through the gap, single through the infield, 2-run score, like blow the lead, that kills your chance to win that game. That changes our entire feeling going into today's episode and kind of the Monday as a whole. The bullpen's done a great job. Eniel De Los Santos, we'll see if he can continue rolling, but so far, first couple of impressions are pretty good. It feels like this is a deeper bullpen. That's the big thing here. Like we've been talking about, like their ability to close out games, the depth of the bullpen. That's a problem. It's not feeling like a problem anymore. And the offense had an off day yesterday, but they did enough to win the game. Soto with that big go-ahead home run. They tie it up at 2 with a nice rally, even though they weren't really able to punch through. They left a lot of runners on base, but because they were consistently flooding the bases with base runners, Alex, it consistently gave them chances to score. That's exactly what you need to do if you're a good offense. So, I think right now you're seeing this team, they're starting to click again, and we'll see if that can translate into what you mentioned, what is a huge part of our schedule and a chance for us to gain some separation in the AL East.
Yeah, and also, when it comes to baseball, oftentimes it's just about momentum, gaining confidence, being in a momentous position. The Yankees' offense has a chance to really ramp things up, and they've been really solid over the past 2 weeks or so following the All-Star break. And rather the trade deadline. So, you kind of think about where this team currently resides. Who needs to start improving? Well, we're seeing the usual. Stanton gets injured. Stanton comes back. Stanton stinks when he comes back. He's swinging at things out of the zone. He can't touch the baseball. Like, we're seeing the Stanton that we expected to following, over a month on the IL. Eventually, he'll start to get back to where he was, but he needs to be seeing everyday reps. And unfortunately, it's just like you have to like kind of bite the bullet, knowing that Stanton is going to be basically an automatic out for the next couple of weeks until he finds his groove again. It sucks. It is what it is. We had opportunities with lots of men on base yesterday. I think he wasted. I want to say it was 5, 6, maybe more than that. He left on base. It's disappointing. That's a guy that you need to be hitting home runs, need to be hitting extra base hits, need to be at least elevating the ball into the outfield, move runners over. But we saw a nice little glimpse of the double steal from Jazz and Anthony Volpe yesterday, which was excellent. We love to see the double steals because this team is so bad on the base pass. They need those two guys to be proactive and obviously making moves. But, you look at guys like Austin Wells. Over the last month, he's been excellent. Austin Wells has earned his right to be the cleanup hitter for now. They're intentionally walking Aaron Judge. I actually want to get your take on this, Ryan. Juan Soto said it's really disappointing that they're intentionally walking Aaron Judge because I'm working so hard to get on base before him, to give Judge an opportunity with a guy in scoring position or just on base in general, turns a solo into a 2-run homer, and they're walking him instead. If teams start to do that, if teams start to walk Aaron Judge, do you consider flip-flopping Soto and Judge? Right? Do you consider putting Soto behind him? Because then you can't physically justify walking Aaron Judge because you have another elite batter behind him, and then you're like, okay, what's the point? We have to attack Judge because then you got Soto. But the thing is, like, they don't care. Like, teams are like, we can justify facing Austin Wells, but not a guy like Soto. Do you think if teams start to latch onto that narrative or kind of that strategy, is there a world where the Yankees say, well, you know what, if you're going to do that, we're just going to put Aaron Judge second and then Juan Soto third, and now you can't do it anymore. You have to attack our hitters. Is that something the Yankees would consider if this becomes more of a league-wide trend?
I mean, I think you have to consider it, but I think in a perfect world, like, you could just open the game with Soto Judge. Like, I don't think that's controversial to say, but, like, I want my two best hitters getting the most at-bats on the team. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to rip Boone apart for the lineup, like, for the leadoff spot, because I think there are better options to lead off than Verdugo, but I also understand that the options still aren't very good. You're not going to lead off Jazz. He's more of a, he's the kind of guy you want up with runners in scoring position. You're definitely not going to lead off Stanton. Volpe, he's a lower part of the lineup guy. Like, that's where he's settled in. I think it'd be a little weird for us to disrupt that. And like Wells, he's a catcher. You don't want your catcher opening the game after he catches a couple innings with an at-bat. Like, that could be a little rough. That could be a little weird. I mean, overall, Alex, their lineup construction issues, I think, are more centered around the leadoff spot or the getting consistent. The consistent production from the cleanup spots come with Wells, but I don't know. Like, it's the intentional walks thing is difficult. It's just so hard to try to remedy that issue because, I mean, I would rather face Soto than Judge, right? Like, if depending on the situation, like, I'd rather face Soto than Judge. Judge is, like, I don't know if people really take into appreciation or take into account just, like, Judge is one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Like, he's one of the best hitters in MLB history. That's not an exaggeration. He's a 216 WRC plus. That's I think the 5th highest mark for any player post-integration. The only guys with higher marks are Barry Bonds, who did steroids in his steroid years. Like, that's performance enhancers. If Aaron Judge took performance enhancers, God knows what he would do at the plate. You have, Mickey Mantle and Ted Williams in, like, 1957. Do you know what type of company that is? Like, we're talking about either something that happened 70 years ago when baseball was a completely different sport, or the guy who's most infamous for taking PEDs. Like, it's one or the other. Those are the only two guys who have seasons, or the only 3 guys that have had seasons better than Aaron Judge is having right now offensively. And, oh yeah, Aaron Judge in 2022 had a 209 WRC plus. So he had the best season since Barry Bonds. He's having a peak. He's having, like, a stretch run of years that, like, nobody can match except for Barry Bonds. In really, like, Barry Bonds wasn't really my lifetime, but in my lifetime, nobody can match the Aaron Judge stretch of these 3 years. I know that Pujols may have had a more, like, a 7-year run better than Judge, but I'm just talking straight peak years, like, your best of the best years. It's so hard to remedy the issue. Aaron Judge is the best hitter on the planet. Like, I don't know if teams are going to ever want to pitch to him, regardless of who's behind him. But I wonder if Boone tries it. Like, just once, see how it goes, right? Like, maybe Soto's the one getting intentionally walked, and maybe that just kind of creates the same issue. I don't know. I don't know if the solution is there other than maybe Aaron Judge becomes less feared across the league. Maybe Aaron Judge is just not being so good at baseball, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Judge by himself is an offense. I mean, we're talking about manager coming out and saying, I don't even want to see him hit, like, in the second inning. It is impressive what he's doing. I mean, if he doesn't win an MVP this season, what are we doing here? Like he's that good. He's dominant. He's on
Yeah, if
another
I hear
planet.
the Bobby Witt Jr. arguments are
I mean,
crazy to me.
it's ridiculous. It's
Like
not
it's
even
like,
close.
oh, they're tied in F War, great. In B War, Aaron Judge leads. Like Aaron Judge leads in F War as well. And like I think defense is extremely valuable, but it's also the hardest thing to quantify. Like offense, you can very clearly quantify. When two players have a similar WAR, like we're talking about, like within 0.5 points, or Aaron Judge just straight up leads the guy in both WAR categories. He's also the better hitter, and that's the thing we have the most accurate measurement of. Cool, Bobby Witt Jr. is an all-around player. That's great. That's like saying, oh yeah, Steph Curry isn't as good as, like, I don't know, he isn't as good as OG Anunoby because OG Anunoby is a better all-around player. Like, that's stupid. Like, give me the best offensive player in the league if he provides the most value in the league over the guy who does it all. Like, I don't understand. We have metrics that account for these things. If I hear for a Bobby Witt Jr. argument, he's more valuable to his team. Like, 2017 Aaron Judge is more valuable to his team than anybody on the planet, and they still give it to Altuve. What, how about in 2021? Like, I'm not saying he should have won in 2021, but you want to tell me Aaron Judge was the most valuable player to his team amongst the guys he was competing with? Because that offense stunk without Aaron Judge. In 22, right, like 23, should he have won MVP because the Yankees legitimately were the worst team the worst version of the Yankees you've ever seen without Aaron Judge? Like, is that an argument we should start making? Because it's just ridiculous to hear these anti-Judge MVP arguments. Like, everyone's just mad they don't have Aaron Judge. We have him, they don't. I get it. It's a little, it's tough to not have the best player on the planet. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, and when and for what it's worth, he's playing out of position, right? He's not a center fielder by trade. He attacked that challenge with open arms. He wanted the challenge, and got to give him some credit there too. So Judge obviously being Judge, Soto being Soto, and Wells performing well. The leadoff spot's kind of been like a let's see what the matchups look like. It's been Gleyber and Verdugo kind of switching off and on. Verdugo's been getting a couple days off. He was a little beat up, Aaron Boone said. Look, one day maybe we see Jason Dominguez get called up and play. I mean, they said he's ready. Like, he's ready to go. It's just a matter of the timing. And low key, Oswald Peraza with 2 homers yesterday. What is going on there? Well, why is Peraza suddenly hitting? I don't.
Dude,
understand.
I mean,
he's the most confusing player ever.
He might just be quad A. He might just be a quad A guy. Like, I hate to say, he's a quad A guy.
He's a Florial guy.
But you know who we got the Martian lurking though. The Martian's lurking. He's waiting. He's waiting.
He is, and listen, this team is kind of hitting a good stretch right now. We need to clean up house, against these bad teams, go into September on a hot stretch, and peak going into October. It's really, the postseason is all about when you peak. This Yankee team has peaked mid-season the last couple of years. Unfortunately, this year, I mean, maybe it is fortunate when it all is said and done, they kind of hit that lull mid-season, whereas in the past they were red hot, so now we kind of went through that cold stretch. We survived the adversity, hopefully turning a corner, seemingly we have, winning these closer games, and sweeping the Phillies. Look, sweeping the Phillies is like, all right, like, we can do this. Like, we can beat good teams, and we can beat the brakes off of them at times.
Also, love specifically beating Philly. Fuck
absolutely,
that garbage city, man. That rat-infested, disgusting excuse of a city, man. God,
we got plenty of rats in New York City.
We have rats, but our rats are cool. Our rats are like they
no,
they're
not.
Subways.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're equally as disgusting.
They have Eagles. We have Giants. There's a difference. There's a difference in quality. Not really. That's our football team's
Eagles have
ass.
been a lot, rather Eagles, but Philadelphia sports have been in general better than us for a long time, and it's hard to fathom.
76ers, they haven't done much. The Phillies, true, but I mean, look, the Phillies have the most losses of all time for now.
Flyers have been decent.
I just really don't like that city, man.
Me neither. I mean, it's mostly because their fans are just so they're just so over the top.
Yeah, and so it's nice to sweep them in front of.
Like, they have nothing else.
Yeah,
we have 1 a.m. pizza. They have nothing except
for
they
have. I mean, I will say Philly cheesesteaks though. Like, let's.
Yeah, no,
I will not get disrespectful. Good Philly cheesesteak, man. Like a good Philly cheesesteak, dog.
You'll catch me at a chili feast.
I don't hate Pennsylvania. I just hate Philadelphia. There are some spots in Pennsylvania that rock. Nah, there's some spots that rock.
There probably are, but I don't find myself wanting to go to Pennsylvania.
I think I find myself wanting to go to Pennsylvania. Sometimes. We'll see. TBD.
For me at least, I have no reason. I mean, does anyone else? You guys can tell me in the comments.
That's a great, comment section. First off, what are you feeling about the Yankees? And secondly, do you ever find yourself wanting to go to PA? That's a great question.
If you live in New York, I don't, unless you have a genuine reason to go to Pennsylvania, genuinely good one. It's not much of a reason.
Yeah, we also got, as you mentioned, 1 a.m. pizza here. Cold 1 a.m. pizza though, not too, 11 o'clock pizza, hungover, 11 a.m. Cold pizza's in the fridge. Is that weird?
You
I
can
feel like
get some
it's
of the
not weird.
best pizza on earth at 2 in the
And the
morning.
bagels, dude, the bagels. Good
Bagels
lord.
are gas. There's a
Good
bagel
lord.
spot right next to me that
Dude, I'm
actually
gonna
like
get a
changed
bagel
my life.
after we finish the Yankees episode and the Knicks one. We're rocking, dude. We're
Yeah.
rocking.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we've covered pretty much all the Yankees
Yeah,
that we wanted to
we
cover.
have.
Now we're into bagels. I mean, it's interesting conversation. I always happy to hear your bagel takes in the comment section. I imagine everyone here is a New Yorker for the most part, from New Jersey, and both New Jersey and New York have pretty damn good bagels and pizza. So I don't think we can. I'm not gonna talk smack about Jersey stuff because we're on the same side here for most most of the time. But I'll tell you what, this Yankee team right now, lots to like, lots to be positive about. Just waiting for Stanton to hit his stride. You know, some guys to kind of get into the groove here. Jazz, by the way, freaking awesome defensively at third base. Never played there before. Just stepped in and looks like he's been there for years. Love to see that offensively. He's been solid. He's been an asset, man. This guy's going to be realistically though. He's playing second base next year. Gleyber Torres is gone. It's over for Gleyber.
Yeah, but I will say, like, he looks really good at third, and like it would help to like because like Vivas is a natural second baseman.
That's true. I guess.
Durbin's more of a natural second baseman. Like Cabrera feels like a better second baseman at third baseman, although that's me saying feels. I haven't really looked at the data, so ignore that take. But Vivas is a natural second baseman, so
yeah.
It's also just nice to have a guy who can play both, right? Like I love Jazz, dude. Jazz
is great.
Jazz
bring us
rocks.
some energy, man. We needed that energy and aura so badly.
So far, deadline has helped us win some games, like some big games. Deadline's helped us win some big games.
It's not even an argument.
Yeah.
Not even an argument, but
for sure.
Guys, always happy to hear your thoughts down below in the YouTube comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. We'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.
Perfect.